Hello, my name is Nikita Grebnev, and this is assignment number 3 in the Information Encoding Standards course. Today, I will be showing a demonstrational app that utilizes the GWT authentication. The controllers in the app were created utilizing the presentation, with just a little tweaks to demonstrate my knowledge of the course. This is the startup controller, where it initializes the services and adds the authentication service to it. Here's the authentication service itself. As you can see, it's pretty much the same that was in the presentation, although I changed a little bit the student class. In the presentation, each instance of the student was created separately using the simple curly brackets thing. But here I actually created the constructor where we can just send each parameter as the string, and here it is utilized. The authentication service uses the authentication controller, which actually the other way around, the authentication controller uses the service. And in this controller, we have just calling to the service to this method exactly. That checks if the data that the controller got is correct, and we have the student that corresponds to this data. Then it finds it. If it doesn't find it, returns null. If it returns null, we send a band request that it was an invalid username and password, and we don't have a username. We say that please enter username. If we don't have a password, we say please enter password. If everything is okay and we found the student, we just return the 200 OK message, and the student is attached to it with all of the student's parameters. These parameters will be used later. In fact, we also have the token that was added in the authentication service right here. Basically, that's it. After the student, after we got the student information with the token and the name and everything, we can just go to the weather forecast controller that returns the data. And we can see right here that it uses the authentication scheme that we created earlier. And if it doesn't have the data, the token that we have to provide, it returns 401, and if we have the token, it returns the information. I added also a little thing here called greeting, because apart from the token, we also have all the other parameters of the student that the front-end application can get. And among those parameters, there is name, so we can get the name. If we have the name, we will say hello, for example, Nikita. If we don't have the name, we'll say hello user. And we will also tell all the other parameters that we have. So let's see how it goes. Let's launch our application. Here it is. I also utilize Swagger just to check if our method's working. You can see here the weather forecast method that returns 200 with the success and with this pattern, and the authentication method that returns this one. The weather forecast also can return 400 unauthorized, as you can see here. But we will use in the Postman. Don't mind this is just from my work. Let's go first with the weather forecast. For example, we don't have a token yet, and we hit send, and we get 401 unauthorized. Let's get the token. In this example, I will say Nikita Grebnev, and this is invalid username and password because we don't have such a student in our system. Here it is. We have Nital Shah, Adam Smith, John Doe, and Jane Doe. So let's use Jane Doe. Jane Doe. We hit send and we get the token. If we, for example, don't send the username and only send the password, the system will ask us to use the username. If we only send the username without the password, the system will tell, please enter the password. And we send both and we get the token. We also get last name, username, first name, password, which we shouldn't get when we get the token, actually, but never mind that. And we use the token here, and we send. And our controller weather forecast tells us hello user and gives us all the data we need. But notice that in the authentication part, we also have the name. Let's use it. And we say name equals Jane. And now the controller says, hello, Jane. I hope that this demonstrates enough. And I hope you like my application and the little tweaks I did to it. And thank you for your attention. Nikita Grebnev out.